How about prospecting?
Prospecting. Okay. Lots of ways to prospect, old school and new school, and both work, right? So old school is letter drops, cold calling, the equivalent of door knocking, which is, or bold calling, which is basically walking into retail businesses and just talking to the owner and having a conversation. Also sliding letters under the door of businesses before hours, after hours. So those are some typical old school ways. New school ways, social media, LinkedIn, email marketing campaigns, drip marketing. So kind of depends on your target market. For the most part, you have to think about who is your target market, where are you going to find those people if you are dealing with social media platforms. Are you going to find your target market on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok? Where are they going to be? Because you don't want to spend your time, energy, and effort marketing in somewhere where they're not. And then also you can use, even if let's say you're targeting manufacturing, and a lot of the manufacturing guys don't even have a website, let alone a LinkedIn profile. So you're not going to find them on LinkedIn. However, you will probably come across their CPAs, their attorneys, their financial advisors, and other professionals. Those people are going to be out on LinkedIn, and they know lots of business owners that they're advising that are going to need business brokers in the future. So establishing relationships with those types of advisors, with those other professional advisors, is always good. And then, of course, networking, Chamber of Commerce, Leads Group, any type of professional networking, exit planning. So lots of ways to prospect. Don't try to do all of them. Pick 2 or 3 and do them consistently. If you send out a letter once, you probably, you can send out 1,000 letters. If you do it once, you're probably not going to get much of a response. But if you send out 1,000 letters to the same people every 2 months or every 3 months, eventually you're going to see a little bit better return. On average, they say, somebody needs to see your information in front of them 7 times before they're going to put you top of mind. Okay. So anybody have other thoughts they want to share? What you're doing, what's working for you, what's not working for you? Just open up your mic and pop in.
You just kind of beat me to it. I was going to ask about prospecting, how you go out and find leads. And I kind of like the idea of slipping a letter under the door of a retail business.
Yep.
Because you could easily print those out at your own home. It's not going to be any additional cost except the gas to travel to where you want to focus on. That's helpful.
Yeah, I know a couple of brokers that they used to do a block. I mean, that was their evening routine, after either before business hours, morning or evening, depending on, how long it was before the sun went down. So the summer, they tended to do it in the evening, but they just print up letters and they go drive to a block and they'd walk that entire block sliding letters under the door, down one side of the street, cross the street, up the other side of the street, and every single day. So they'd hit I don't know, depending on how large or how long the blocks are, you probably hit somewhere between 20 and 40 businesses.
Good exercise too.
Yeah, get some exercise, right? Hey, you got to multi-purpose everything.
Definitely.
These days.
I like that idea. I'm going to put that on my list of things to do.
Awesome.
Have you ever tried to contact for sell by owner folks who are on BizBuySell?
I personally have not, but I am working with a couple of agents that are in my mentor program who are very successful at doing that.
I've been leveraging Instagram very effectively. Personally, I've found that that's been very fruitful for me. So very well worth the effort, in my opinion.
Awesome. What kind of businesses are you targeting?
So I've chosen to really focus on the cannabis industry here in Montana. So that's kind of who I've been target marketing for a while now, but kind of narrowing my scope and kind of using a sniper rifle as opposed to a machine gun is turned out to be very effective for me. So my following is, I would guess, about maybe 40 or 50% cannabis businesses now. So it's working very effectively.
Nice. Anybody else doing anything differently?
Well, I'm attending, more networking events. So just with, some of the chamber, and that's one professional group, but just other, something called 1 in 1 million cups. That's another organization or networking event where you got, different businesses, some startups, but some are existing as well. So it's, and just meeting, establishing relationships, just with other professionals and just cultivating those relationships on how we can, help each other businesses. So that's what I've been doing a lot lately, more, and just created my YouTube video about what is business to brokerage. So it's pretty interesting. I didn't realize I would get that many views, but I did get a lot. So I was
Awesome.
surprised about it. So I was surprised by that. So people are watching. So
Well,
see
I
where
think
it
more
goes.
and more people are looking for information, and business owners, again, you've got an entire baby boomer generation that's going to be retiring or trying to retire over the next 10 to 15 years. And we're already into that. We've been into that for the last 5 years at least. And so, they are looking for information, or if they're not, then their kids are, their adult children that don't want the business because they already have their own careers. They're looking
Right.
for information to help out mom and dad. So, there is, the more content, the more information that you put out there, the higher the probability that people are going to be coming your way they're going to see your information and recognize you to be an expert in the industry, and therefore, they want to know more.
I've got a question for you. I know last time, when John was on the calls, he mentioned about to even build relationships with other business brokers in the area.
Mhm.
Have you been doing that yourself? And what conversations you have with them? Because I know there's a small group here in Charleston. There's another group that I'm a part of, and I noticed I just started seeing them advertise on that particular group for business to brokers. So
Yeah,
would you-
I think that when it comes to doing transactions with other business brokers, business brokerage, as you know, is different than selling property. And business brokers in general, because business sales are confidential, we generally have the buyers coming to us as well when we're advertising and marketing a business. But we also have the ability to promote the business to our colleagues that we know are competent. So, and to, co-broker those transactions and do deals with other people that we know are competent. And it's that competency piece that becomes an issue, because if you don't know the business brokers in your area, then you don't know who is competent. The other part of that is that it's always good to have people you can go to if you have questions, and it's nice to be able to call an associate, even if they're not with your firm, and just say, hey, have you ever done this type of deal? What can you tell me about it? What do I need to know? You can co-broker with people that are outside your organization if the need arises. So there's all kinds of ways that you can leverage other people's expertise to help you transact more deals. But you have to get to know them first, because at the end of the day, we all do business with people that we know, like, and trust. And so we have to get to know them. I would encourage you to join if you have a local business broker association. I would highly encourage that you join that,
Okay,
because you will meet and go to their conferences. I
okay,
know here in California, our CAB conference is September 28th and 29th. And I think the Virginia and Carolinas Business Broker Association, that conference, I believe, is the 27th through the 29th of September, because they asked me, somebody sent me an email and wanted me to come teach a course, IBBA 304, on the 27th. And I was like, yeah, there's no way I can be out there in, I forget where it was, but in Virginia somewhere. It was like trying to be in Virginia and teach that course from 1 to 5 on the 27th and be back in Oakland, California before 9 o'clock the following morning. There's just no flights. You know, when I was looking at things, was like, yeah, the schedule's too tight. That's not going to work out. But
is that the same as the IBBA, or that's different? What you referring to?
what they wanted me to teach was an IBBA course. There was that
Okay.
we can do field courses, but no, their conference it's the Virginias and Carolinas. What is it? Carolina, Virginia, CVBBA, I think. Carolinas, Virginia Business Broker Association. So CVBBA.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're in that area, I encourage you to join. There's also other broker, Texas has a business broker association. Florida has a business broker association. There's a Michigan one, because I'm going to Michigan in October to their conference to teach a course up there. So I know there's one there. Different states, and some are regional. Some have
Okay.
regional, they cover multi-states like Virginia and Carolinas. So just,
Okay.
You can Google it probably and see if there's a business broker association in your local area.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. But definitely a good idea to meet. The other thing you can do with business brokers in your area is just create a best practices group. That's an informal best practices group that you all can get together by Zoom, once every couple of weeks and just talk about issues the same way that we do things here, on this call. Just anybody can bring up an issue and get some direction or get some assistance from, and some input, ideas, suggestions, brainstorming, from the others. As business brokerage is, it's a different breed, it's a different breed of industry.
Yeah,
Tony, I was going to
Tanya,
make a comment, but I see Kevin's had his hand up this whole time. So
Go ahead, Kevin.
So I'm gonna drop a little plug in the chat. So I have a YouTube channel that I've been doing interviews on, and I would love to interview anybody who would like to be on the channel. And it's basically just a free form conversation. You can come on and talk all about yourself and what you're doing and where you're at. And just, basically a relevant discussion one-on-one, kind of like this, that I think makes for great content. And yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
I've been doing this about 16, 17 years. And it's refreshing to hear conversations on prospecting because I've gotten lazy. I get 90% of my stuff from referrals, but it does go back to what's worked for me, which is networking. And part of my networking has been volunteering. I've served on boards. I've mentored high school kids. I've just made myself known. I don't know what communities y'all are in, but Savannah's a relatively small town. So gradually over time, I have established myself as the business broker. But I wanted to piggyback on something Tanya said, that when you get referral sources like CPAs and financial advisors and estate planning attorneys in particular, frequently their clients go to them because they've got a 20 or 30-year trusted relationship, and they say, what do I do? And they say, I got a guy or gal, and you show up and you're the gal. Well, it's not just that power of that huge endorsement, but you're also getting a client 89, 90% of the time who actually has their stuff in order. Unlike some of the randos we get who just, reach out to our firms. And secondly, they also value professional services. You're not going to get the guy who goes, what are you charging a commission for? I could do this myself. That's, you want to be strategic. Over time, I've done everything from BNI to every regional chamber, member of all kinds of, subsidiary chambers. I'm on the East Coast. So your time, California, I was up at 2 something this morning to head off to a CFO breakfast, and just keeping your face in front of the right people. But, I respect the people that can leverage the social media platforms. I'm obviously a whole lot older too. And I'm from the world where it's eye contact, handshakes, and you just got to get yourself out and be known.
Yep.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Tanya, thank you for teaching. Georgia Association of Business Brokers is real fortunate in that we got ourselves licensed as a Georgia real estate school. So in addition to the best practices and networking with other experienced brokers, we actually satisfy all of our continuing ed, which was the course you put on.
Yeah.
That was some of the last units I picked up. So some real advantages to your local associations.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.